This morning, doctors are seeing a spike in COVID cases, but fewer hospitalizations than previous waves. More than 1,200 cases have been reported in the state this week, which is the highest it's been since March.
9 News reporter Courtney Yoon joins us now live from Denver. Courtney, doctors say sick patients are coming in with the typical symptoms.
Yeah, that's right. Good morning, Corey and Jordan. They're dealing with body aches, fever, coughing, sneezing, all of that stuff related to COVID. But not a lot of these patients are experiencing the more severe symptoms like shortness of breath or difficulty breathing. Dr. Ming Wu with Advent Health Littleton says a lot of people are testing positive, but there's a relatively low number of hospitalizations. He says compared to previous waves of COVID, this one isn't as bad, with many patients realizing after the fact that they had the virus. But he says it's important to remember the infection can still become significant. This wave involves two different Omicron variants, collectively called FLIRT. While we often think of viral infections as a wintertime issue, Dr. Wu says we often see waves of COVID in the summer as well. He says this virus is still difficult to predict.
Even the CDC admits that we don't know what this virus is going to do. You know, it could be that this is something that just becomes something that we see from now on, or it could be something that kind of goes away and does become just like the common cold. Without, having a crystal ball and looking forward, I can't say what the virus is going to do.
And Dr. Wu wants to encourage everyone to keep washing your hands, get those germs off, and prevent yourself from getting COVID. He also says if you haven't gotten the vaccine from last year, to wait until this fall when the new one comes out. Live in Denver, Courtney Yoon, 9 News.
Courtney, thank you for the update. And right now, health officials say there are 5 cases of bird flu in humans here in Colorado. The state health department says all 5 cases are in workers at a commercial egg-laying operation in northeast Colorado. The CDC has confirmed 4 of the cases. The 5th is a presumptive positive pending confirmation. The workers all exhibited mild symptoms, including pink eye, and were not hospitalized. Health officials say it is safe to eat properly handled and cooked poultry products.
More than 100 people gathered in Rhino last night to remember a bar employee who was shot and killed last week. Todd Kidd was an employee at Federales working last Wednesday night when the shooting happened outside the bar. A friend says this memorial is near the spot where police say a 14-year-old shot him. The impact Todd made was clear by how many people came out to honor him, including old teammates from his team as a hockey player at DU in the 90s. Friends described Todd as kind, someone who always had a smile and a word of encouragement.
I'm seeing tonight, I'm seeing so much celebration of a life that was so amazingly lived, and it's just a reminder for us to keep being the light, to keep loving our neighbors.
Police are still looking for this 14-year-old Stephen Joseph Marquez. He goes by Esco. Investigators say that there was a disturbance outside the bar and Kidd tried to intervene. The shooting happened Wednesday and Kidd died 2 days later.
Everyone is doing okay this morning after a lightning strike started a fire in Thornton yesterday. It happened at the Madison Park Apartments off of 120th, just west of Colorado Boulevard. A witness says the moment the lightning hit, she heard a loud noise. She later noticed the fire and was able to get out safely. More than a dozen people were displaced, but no one living inside the building was hurt. A firefighter was treated for minor injuries and is expected to be okay.
Today, flags will fly at half-staff in Colorado to honor the man who was shot and killed at the Trump rally on Saturday. 50-year-old Corey Compertor, a volunteer firefighter and father of 2, died during the attempted assassination of former President Donald Trump. The 2 men who were hurt in the shooting are no longer in critical condition this morning, and we now know one of those men, 57-year-old David Dutch, is a Marine. He had 2 surgeries after being shot in the liver and chest. Right now, the FBI is working to figure out the shooter's motive. They have accessed the 20-year-old gunman's phone, but say that hasn't been much help. Sources told NBC News that his father called police after the shooting, worried that his son and his rifle were missing.
Former President Trump made his first appearance since the attempt on his life on Saturday. This is video of him arriving at the Republican National Convention last night with a bandage over his ear where he was shot. During the RNC, Trump officially became the Republican nominee for president. Trump secured enough delegates and is scheduled to formally accept his nomination on Thursday. He is reportedly rewriting that speech to focus more on a message of unity following the assassination attempt this past weekend. Trump also finally announced a running mate. He picked Ohio Senator J.D. Vance. The 39-year-old was elected to the Senate in 2022. Vance served in the Marine Corps, graduated from Ohio State, and is a Yale Law School graduate. Vance is also a former Trump critic who once said Trump might be America's Hitler and said anyone who voted for Trump is an idiot. As Trump rose to power, Vance had a change of heart, becoming one of his biggest defenders.
Well, as of today, we are now officially the 9 News Weather Impact Team, and that also means that we're going to call 9 News Weather Impact Days ahead of time. Now, we don't have any coming up, but what we look for in terms of that possibility for a 9 News Weather Impact Day would be dangerous, disruptive, or weather that just more broadly kind of stands out. That could mean anything from a big temperature drop to fog to a freeze, all sorts of different things. But what we want to do and focus in on is how weather impacts you at home. So, for example, let's say hypothetically tomorrow. Now, this is just an example here. We had a weather impact day for tomorrow in Denver. We would be talking about severe storms. We'd try and outline for you the exact timing, the exact threat, and that would be severe storms. Also, of course, getting into more detail. Is it hail? Is it damaging winds? Is it even tornadoes? Is it that sort of thing? And also what you need to avoid or what you should do to prepare yourself for that impactful weather. So again, when we look at that 7-day forecast, right now, we don't have any weather impact days, but you'd see those outlined in red so that hopefully that would give you at home a better idea about how to prepare for impactful weather ahead of time. And we'll have, of course, all of that for you and plenty more detail, all this coming up for us here. But now you'll notice these new graphics. We are now officially the 9 News Weather Impact Team.